So I'm here to introduce your candidate for mayor, Mr. Bill Harris.
I was born and raised here in Fuquay-Varina. I was born in a farmhouse in Varina and grew up on the streets of Fuquay, Northwest Street. My grandfather was a sharecropper, and one of the things that I remember about my grandfather is how hard he worked. Whenever he would plow a field, he put a flag at the end of the field, and he would start at one end and then he would plow toward the other end. And I learned a lesson from that, that whenever you have a target or a goal, you can be successful if you continue to move straight forward and be direct for what you want, and do not get distracted by things that won't necessarily contribute to what you want to do. My father was a caddy who grew up in Moore County. One of the lessons he told me that he learned caddying is very simple, three things. He said, when you caddy, you show up, you keep up, and you shut up. And I've used that in my efforts in the public arena on certain situations, okay? I think that that's important because being in the public arena, you have to learn those strategies in order to continue to build relationships and relate to people. My mother was a barrier breaker because she was one of the first women to attend Harris Barber College in Raleigh and became a full-time licensed barber. And she did not allow the fact that she was entering to what would be considered at that time a male-dominated profession. She didn't allow that to hold her back. I watched her as she deflected those kinds of negative attitudes, and I learned those lessons from my parents. Attended Fuquay Consolidated High School. It was one of the Rosenwald schools, part of that Rosenwald project that was supported by Booker T. Washington. Booker T. Washington partnered with Julius Rosenwald to build schools in the South where African Americans could attend. And I graduated from high school. I entered North Carolina Central University. I majored in business administration. I was in the marching band, the jazz band, the concert band, because music had always been a part of my interest in life. Having the opportunity to go to college was sort of a dream come true for me because it helped me to broaden my perspective, to get an education, and to learn more about the world as well as myself. My junior year, I got married and married my high school sweetheart. We moved to Raleigh. I worked in Raleigh. Then from there, I moved to Fayetteville, got a job as a probation officer. That was probably one of the most eye-opening experiences for me because it helped me to have an idea of what it meant to be a public servant. I learned that everybody has a story, and then I learned that treating people with dignity and respect go a long way. I had the opportunity to further my education, so I enrolled in North Carolina State University in the Public Administration Department. It was my introduction to a different aspect of public life because from the academic standpoint, I was able to relate theory and practice. My dad died and I moved back to Fuquay-Varina, and the idea was only to stay here temporarily. But because my children were young, I got involved with the local PTA and got involved with the community. So I got involved with the Lincoln Heights PTA, and eventually I became president of the local PTA. I was asked to join a citywide education committee. It exposed me to a broader number of people in the community who may know me, and I began to learn other people as well. A position came open for this new program that was an alternative sentencing program for substance abusers. It was called Treatment Alternatives to Street Crime. It was a grant program to what was then called Drug Action of Wake County, that is now called Southlight. I had the responsibility of connecting not only with those people who were offenders, but also to communicate with law enforcement, with the judges, with the district attorneys, and with other family members in regards to trying to make sure that we had the best option for an offender or someone who entered the criminal justice system. And eventually, I was hired at the state level to manage that program statewide. Doing all that same time, I got appointed to the Fuquay-Varina Town Board. The PTA the education committee. I taught a Sunday school class. I was involved in the local Masonic Lodge, and I was teaching. And when the opportunity came for me to become an elected official through appointment, I just knew that it would be part of or an extension of what I already felt I had skills with, and that was being in the public arena. And when I was asked to apply for the appointment as a commissioner, I saw that being an elected official was truly an opportunity to make a difference. I don't think there's any other greater opportunity to really have such a wide impact on the quality of life for another person is when you are an elected official and when you can drive policy to help improve people's lives. The public office is a natural fit for me, and that I'm in an environment where I can really make a contribution. Because I really believe that service is the rent we pay for being here. With the skills that I've learned over several years, it has qualified me to be able to interact with people, to treat people with dignity and respect, and to recognize that in some level, everybody is a hero. If we provide the right environment for people to grow and to achieve their fullest potential, government can, through involvement and through welcoming the input of people, be stronger. And I've also witnessed how government, when it turns its head away from people, how it can be so negative. I see my role as an elected official to promote an environment where people can achieve their fullest potential, feel comfortable about their environment, feel comfortable about this idea called government and democracy. The mayor is a lot different than the president or the governor. Your mayor, you see your mayor in the city, you know your mayor. Your mayor represents local government. I want to be able to be an example for them of what good government can be by being connected to the people and by listening to the people and by promoting these three keys that I've been suggesting. The acronym is ART. That's accountability, responsiveness, and transparency. I think that if we can drive these values as far as government operations, we can reinvigorate this idea of citizen participation. The key to the history of what makes America so great is civic participation, because what we have allowed is voices to be heard. I think that it's important that those kinds of values be promoted and we can have a more inclusive society, and we can be the kind of town or community where we have a higher quality of life and where families and children and grandparents and everybody who comes to this town called Fuquay-Varina will have it as a sense of really being home, that this will be home. And I think that's what people want. They want to feel as if they are home. And that's what I want to do as mayor.